Hello, my dear students, and a very warm welcome to our today's math session. In our today's math session, we are going to start with a chapter number 14, that is banks and simple interest. In today's class, particularly, we will see just the basic concepts which are related to the banking. So let's start. Now, what exactly is meant by banking? By the means of banking, whatever money is earned by our elders that can be saved at a particular place. Up to now, even you children, you have been through the process of banking. That is, whenever any relative or your parents provide you with money, you purchase the things in which you are interested, and the remaining amount you put it into the piggy bank. So, piggy bank, again I highlight the word bank. So, that means what? Even you people are aware with the concept of banking. So, whatever the excess amount is there, that you store it into the bank to keep it safe. So in the similar fashion, even our elders, whatever after doing the monthly expense, whatever the extra amount is left, that they save it into the banks. Now, what exactly is a bank? A bank is a government recognized organization that carries out the transactions of money. It is a financial organization. Now, what is meant by financial organization? Related with money. Related with money transaction. That is nothing but financial. So, who runs these banks? Banks are run by the government. The rules which are followed in the bank are designed by the government, and finance relates to money. Now, in the picture beside, who are the people shown to be using the bank services? Now see, here we have a cycle of people, or you can say we have people from different categories. Like we have a trader or a businessman, we have an industrialist or the professionals like the teachers, doctors, engineers. Then we have the women savings group, then we have the farmers and students. So each and every person which has been shown into the picture, it might be a big businessman, or it might be a small farmer, or it might be a student. Everyone uses a bank. Now, why students uses a bank? So every student has his bank account related to his scholarship account. So if he or she is supposed to get any scholarship from the government, that will be provided into his account or the student's account, and this student's account will be in a joint venture, or it will be a joint account with the parents. Now, what is the symbol on the bank in the center stand? Now, in the center we have a bank. Okay, on that we have a symbol. Now what is the symbol representing? This is representing nothing but it is the symbol for rupees. Then what do the arrows in the above picture tell you? Now the arrows in the picture are double sided. That is, it is showing the incoming also and outgoing also. Like in a bank you can save the money, that is you can deposit the money, as well as when you need it you can withdraw the money also. So what is it? What did we learn from this particular picture? We learned that every person present in the society, it might be a big industrialist or it might be a small businessman, or you can say a hotel holder or a canteen holder. Every individual can deposit money into the bank. Then the second point which was important is we can deposit the money into the bank as well as we can withdraw the money from the bank. Then after seeing what is banking and who are the persons who can carry the process of banking, after that we have to see what is meant by a bank account. Whenever we start depositing the amount into the bank, an account is created by our name in which we can deposit and withdraw the money. Now see, to use the banking services, one has to open an account in a particular bank. There are n number of banks available into the society. So what you need to do is you need to choose a bank in which you are having an interest, which is suitable for your needs. Then for opening the account also, we need certain documents. Now what are those documents? Let's see that. First one is proof of residence. Now what is meant by residence? The place where you stay. So to give the proof of residence, what you need to do is You can provide a ration card Xerox, or you can provide a electricity bill Xerox, telephone bill, or domicile certificate or identity card. It might be of your workplace where your parents are working, or it might be like the voting card and all. So anything which will give the bank the proof of residence, that can be submitted to the bank. And then second one is the proof of identity. Now what is mean by proof of identity? Like, see, you can submit the Aadhaar card, voter card, or PAN card, passport, or any other proof suggested by the bank besides a reference from the another customer who is an account holder. Now see children, not just giving the proof of residence and proof of identity is enough. You need also the reference of a person who already has an account in that particular bank. Then only the process of documentation will be completed. Then afterwards we have various types of accounts. So out of that, the first category is savings account. Okay? A saving account is meant to induce a habit of saving money. Like, see, the biggest intention to start a savings account is what? We want to induce a habit of saving. After doing the monthly expense, whatever the extra amount is left, that has to be saved. And for that purpose, we start with a savings account. An account holder can deposit money in the savings account as and when the money is available. In a month, how many times you want, that many times you can go and deposit the amount into the savings account. He or she may also withdraw or take out some money from that account occasionally if needed. Then afterwards, if you feel like there is a need to spend the money, then at the same time you can go and withdraw the money. As like there is no restriction in depositing the money, as well as there is no restriction in withdrawing the money. The customer also gets the facilities like passbook, in which the entry of your transactions will be stored. You may get a checkbook, you may get an ATM card by means of which you can spend the money or swipe the card and do the shopping or spend the money wherever it is needed. Then mobile banking, SMS banking, internet banking, and all facilities will be provided when you open a savings account into the bank. Then the next category is a current account. In a current account, money can be withdrawn from it any number of times. No restriction for withdrawal of the money. But one does not get any interest on the amount in this account. But whenever you are depositing the money into the current account, bank will not provide you interest. Now what is interest? Interest is the amount paid by the bank when you deposit any amount into the bank. But whenever you are depositing an amount into a current account, that interest will not be given by the bank. To get more interest, we have to keep a fixed amount in a bank for a longer period of time, which is afterwards called as a fixed deposit. So in order to get a considerable amount from the bank, what you need to do is you have to keep a huge amount or a considerably large amount into a bank, that too for a fixed period, which is called as a fixed deposit. Or you can also keep it as a recurring deposit, that is monthly you have to deposit a fixed amount into the bank. Like every month you start depositing 100 rupees into the bank, and at the end of that duration, bank will provide you with some considerable amount. So this is current account. After that, in the last slide, we saw about the interest. Now, how exactly is this interest calculated? The account holders of a bank are paid some amount for keeping their money in the bank. Like whenever you open an account into a bank, so after that, when you deposit some amount into the account, so as a return, bank is also providing you certain amount. On the other hand, people who borrow from a bank are charged an amount for the use of money loaned to them. Such amounts are called as interest. Now children, whenever there is a need, we can take a loan from the bank. And for giving us the loan, the bank will take some amount. For helping us in return, the bank is charging us with some amount. That amount is called as an interest. The money deposited in the bank or the money lent by a bank to a borrower is called as the principal. The loan amount that we get from the bank, that is called as the principal. Whenever you deposit an amount into the bank or whenever you withdraw an amount from the bank, that is termed as a principal. Then, when calculating interest on a deposit or on a loan, the rate of interest is given for every 100 rupees. Like see, even if you are depositing 1000 rupees into the bank, interest is calculated after every 100 rupees. Now in 1000 rupees, we have 100 rupees 10 times. That is 1000 divided by 100, it is 10. So the rate of interest for a given period of time, a rate of interest percent per annum is written as PCPA. That is, it gives the amount of interest due on every 100 rupees for a period of 1 year. That is annually. Now what is meant by PCPA? Percent per annum. That is, cent is nothing but 100 and annum means year. After every 100, how much you are getting at the end of the year. So if the principal increases, interest is also going to increase. That is, the interest increases in proportion to the principal. If you go on increasing the amount, that is the principal, the interest is also going to go on increasing, and that only if you decrease the principal, the interest is also going to decrease. Now let's see one example to clear our concepts. Now here we have a girl Benita who has deposited rupees 15,000 in a bank for a period of 1 year at an interest rate of 7 PCPA, that is 7% per annum. Now, how much interest will she get at the end of the year? Now, the principal, whatever amount she has deposited, that is going to be principal, which is 15,000. Rate of interest is 7% and the period, that is N, is for 1 year. Now, as I said, interest is calculated after every 100 rupees. So let us suppose that the interest on the principal of rupees 15,000 is X. But for 100 rupees, how much we are going to get the interest as? The rate of interest is 7. So for every 100 rupees, we are going to get 7 rupees. Now, we shall take the ratio of the interest to the principal, write it in the two forms and obtain an equation. Now let's do this. Like, we are going to get 7 rupees for every 100 rupees. So let's consider X rupees for 15,000. What you need to do is, you need to multiply both sides by 15,000. Like we are interested in the value of X. So to cancel this 15,000, which is divided by X, you need to multiply with 15,000 on both sides. So after that, what we will be having, 15,000 will get cancelled and you will be left with X. And here, after multiplying this, you will get it as 1,050 rupees. So at the end of 1 year, Vinita is supposed to get an interest of 1,050 rupees. I hope children, everyone has got today's session very nicely, and if there is any difficulty or any query, you can drop it into the comment section. Thank you.